I don't think people understand just how bad it's about to get. Like it's bad right now, but yeah, it's about to be really bad. And if you are not prepping, if you are not stocking up, if you don't see the writing on the wall, I don't know what else to say. But it's about to hit the fan, and you know what I'm saying. So many things are happening every single day, every hour on hour. Stuff is happening. And the things that are happening, they could be preventable, but they want these things to happen. And they want people to be so distracted that they're not out there getting what they need. They want us arguing with each other about, well, you shouldn't stock up this, and I wouldn't tell people to stock up that, and you shouldn't get this. Get your home stocked up. Get wherever you live stocked up with whatever money you have. And I know times are hard. People are drained right now between fuel and food and everything else. But they want you to not have anything. So when everything really goes awry, they got you right where they want you, needing them. And in order to get anything from them, you're going to have to do some things. You're going to have to do some things. You're going to have to do some things. I'm telling you, get stocked up. If you don't know where to start with the basic life-saving things. Water. Okay? Because you can't live without it. And a way to actually purify your water, because I feel like they're going to contaminate the water. And you're going to have to pay for clean water. So go ahead and get those things now. You don't have to stock up so much where, everything's falling out of your home. But you need to have something. You need to have something. I'm telling you, this is dire situations that we are in right now. I mean, we have to start thinking about if we lose power, if we don't have access to water, if we lose a way to communicate with others, what are we going to do? And you're stuck in your home. Having something at that moment is going to be beneficial, because going out could definitely risk your life. So starting with when you're starting your pantry, think about let's do 3 days, and then let's go from 3 days, and let's go off of the amount of people that we have in our home. One person, they say 1 gallon of water, but I'm telling you now, you're going to need more than 1 gallon of water for one person. I would like to say you're going to have to need maybe around 3 to 5 gallons of water per person per day. Now, that's a lot of water. That's why I say having a way to filter water is going to be very, very important as well. And then what are you going to stock up? So I'm going to give you 5 things that you can start stocking up on right now. So, and I'm getting this out of my Navy SEAL book. So another thing is making sure you have access to books like this that can help you figure out where to get started at. So they have 38, but I want to give you just 5 out of here. Number 1 is rice, because you're going to get so many calories with rice. You can do so much with rice, and how you store it does matter. You can store them in plastic bags, but I don't recommend that because of pest situations. I store mine. I used to store them in Mylar bags, but Mylar bags are very, very expensive. And so now I store them in 5-gallon containers. And you can get free containers if you go to like a Walmart, a Publix, or any kind of grocery store that has a deli or bakery in it, and ask them, do they have any containers that they don't want to use? They'll give you icing buckets. They'll give you the big ones and the small ones. All you got to do is clean it out really, really well. And I store my rice. I store my beans in those things. I store sugar in there. And I use bay leaves in my rice when I'm storing it. That keeps the bugs out. In my prepper pantry, I put bay leaves on the floor in the 4 corners. That helps with pests. I haven't had really any issues in there. Then you have black beans or any kind of beans that you like. You don't have to get what I'm saying. Get what you eat. Eat what you prep, and prep what you eat. So black beans or pinto beans. Flour is another one. When you get your flour, however, I do recommend you putting it in your freezer, either overnight or however many days you want to put it in there. I've put flour in mine and forgot all about it. Like, I got flour in mine now, probably been there for 3 weeks now. But when you take it out Yeah, that flour has been in there for about 3 weeks. You can pull that flour out and it'll be just like you bought it. But the best part about that while you're doing that is because it kills any weevils that might be in the flour. And those are the little black bugs that get in there during processing. So you then take it out and you store it however you're going to store it long term. You can store it the same way I just told you with the rice. And then also you can store your sugar the same way as well. Salt, because our bodies do need salt. Salt is one of the most overlooked and neglected foods, they say, to stockpile. Most of the salt comes from mines deep down on the earth. It is not just something that you put on your food to make it taste good. Salt is made up of sodium, which is a vital electrolyte. It helps balance the amount of water you keep in your body. Salt is also the key element in salting and drying meats. So definitely salt for many, many reasons. Baking soda is another one. You know, you can clean with baking soda, but baking soda or common baking soda has so many uses. While it often is used in food as a leveling agent or a way to make pancakes and waffles rise, baking soda is also key in a variety of baking recipes. Baking soda loses its effect over time and needs to be stored properly to avoid oxidation. So, and I'm going to give you cooking oil. Cooking oil, definitely making sure you have some kind of cooking oil on hand. So those are some, and I gave you a little bit more than 5, but I hope that those help you because we are in crisis right now. So much is happening in the world and it is definitely affecting us here. Here's just a few things that's going on right now.
We got that diesel.
So an oil refinery is burning out of control right now. Matter of fact, it's one of the last oil refineries in this particular country. And I find it very coinky-dinky that this is even taking place when we're in the middle of a fuel crisis. What in the halibut is happening? And then we have Iran, who has got a blockade on the Hormuz Strait. And then you have Trump, who's saying he's going to double down and he's going to do a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. And nobody's going to get any oil. Even countries that don't have nothing to do with this, not going to get any oil. China has entered the picture because they're like, you don't own the world. You do not run the world. And you do not own the strait. And we will move as many ships as we choose. And so right when the clock struck 10, like Cinderella, China said, oh, time to get our ship. And we're going to move it through the strait. And that's what happened. At first it paused and backed up a little bit. And then it kept going. And the U.S. Navy did absolutely nothing but watch it go past. I really feel like they want to have World War III the way things are going. Y'all can let me know what y'all think. But I really feel like that. So let me give you the update on this oil refinery. Give you some videos from that. And I'm going to let y'all go about y'all day. But I do want to see you in the comments. Matter of fact, please hit the like button. I want to see you in the comments. I want to know how you feel about everything that's going on. Because even though, you know, it's election season. So in November, Trump was asked the question, hey, you know, you think the oil price is going to go down? Because, you know, they'll push things down when it benefits them, right? No matter what side it is, Republican or Democrat, they both do it. He goes, I don't know, maybe. They could be higher. They could be lower. They could be the same. Listen, a day trip for me from North Carolina to South Carolina, a 2-hour and 20-minute ride, used to be about $45. I could get there and possibly get back and not have to fill up. I might be low on fuel, but I can get back. That trip is now turned into a $70 trip. And so many people are just struggling to put food on the table. Now they're stressed and stretched just to get to work, just to take the kids to school, just to take them to their extracurricular activities, just to take them to the doctor's office. People are stretched. People are stressed. all of the above. And they're playing games because they want one world order. But I really feel like they feel like if we get into a World War III situation, then we can enact and invoke all of these different things, National Guard, all of that, and get people under control and implement all these things that we have planned for them for 2030. I mean, where do they draw the line? There is no line. There is no longer a line. Y'all check out these clips and let me know what you think. So in Australia, massive fire has broken out at a major oil refinery. Locals are warned to stay indoors, keep your windows closed, don't even come out your house. A huge blaze billowing black smoke can be seen for miles as firefighters are trying to control the blaze. Now, mind you, this started last night and they still don't have that thing under control. There were multiple explosions that can be heard coming from the Geelong refinery an hour southwest of Melbourne, Australia, around 11 p.m. last night. So at least 10 emergency vehicles are currently at the scene trying to get this blaze out. The Country Fire Authority issued a watch and act for a large swath of Geelong, urging locals to take shelter indoors immediately. There is a factory fire in Refinery Road, Corio. A wind change has caused the smoke to be blown toward northern Geelong area. Residents were also being urged to keep off the roads to allow emergency services to respond. The site is one of the only 2 operational oil refineries in the country. Now that is so convenient. That is so convenient. Like it's really nothing to see here, folks. Okay. It's just the oil refinery. Yeah, I know we're in a fuel crisis right now. I know what's going on, but this is just something that just happened.
Reportedly, after President Trump ordered the U.S. Navy to blockade the Strait of Hormuz, a much bigger crisis is unfolding. Last night, Trump announced the blockade would take effect at reportedly 10 o'clock, meaning American forces will now stop, check, or turn back any ships leaving Iranian ports. He warned any approaching fast attack ships will be immediately eliminated. But here is where the real situation begins. Most of these ships carry oil, and the absolute largest importer is China. If U.S. destroyers attempt to stop these Chinese-connected tankers, Beijing will likely send its own warships to protect them. This creates a highly dangerous 3-way standoff. America on one side, China on the other, and Iran in the middle. This waterway handles roughly 20% of the global daily oil supply. Even a minor disruption could severely impact fuel prices and supply chains worldwide. With U.S. naval forces reportedly taking control, one wrong move could trigger a major global crisis.
China has military resources and naval ships in that vicissitude, and China is committed to defending its right of free navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, as well as refusing to recognize the legitimacy of the U.S. imposed naval blockade.
That is absolutely fascinating. Is there therefore a danger of China and America finding themselves firing at each other, finding themselves in a state of war?
I hope not. I hope the U.S. side, including their military, will know the full consequence of firing at a Chinese military object or disrupting the free navigation. If there is only one country in this world that the United States cannot afford to dismiss or completely disregard, it is China. My personal view is that President Trump and his government are damned if they want to escalate the situation, and they will be damned if they do not escalate the situation.
China sent Donald Trump a direct warning. If the U.S. continues with the naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, Beijing will intervene militarily to defend its ally and protect its oil supplier. China's foreign ministry called the naval blockade an act of international economic obstruction that violates the UN Charter, demanding that Trump stop the aggression immediately. Xi Jinping angrily called Trump, warning that any escalation would trigger an immediate and forceful response, with Chinese destroyers heading toward the Persian Gulf and direct support for Iran. China, which depends on Iranian oil for its economy, has already ordered the evacuation of some citizens from Iran and deployed its most powerful navy near the Strait of Hormuz at once. Trump hit back by threatening 100% tariffs on Beijing, but China replied, "The U.S. does not rule the world." Russia and North Korea lined up with Beijing, creating an anti-Trump coalition that could set the planet on fire. Will China go to war against Trump? Will World War III begin in the near future?
Message. Enjoy the current pump figures. With the so-called blockade, soon you'll be nostalgic for $4 to $5 gas.
So as you can see, this is not slowing down. Nobody's backing down. Iran is not backing down. The United States is not backing down. A little bit of pride in there, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know where this is all going. So get your home stocked up the best you possibly can, you guys, because we're in for the long haul. And the longer this drags out, the worse it's going to get for all of us, not just the United States, but other countries as well. So I want to thank you guys for supporting the channel, for supporting the videos that I've been putting out, for leaving your comments and interacting with each other. Make sure that you leave tips and ideas for people when it comes to stocking and prepping up, because we all need, I know I don't have everything, and I know I'm not going to have everything, but I'm getting what I can. How long it will last me, hopefully it could last me a little while, but definitely I'd rather have something than to have nothing. And so that's why I keep encouraging you guys to stock up. It's not me saying go spend your money, go spend your money. It's me saying I don't want you wishing that you had done something when this all just goes, it's already going crazy, but when the S hits the fan. Hit the like, share the video, leave your comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you consider subscribing and joining the family.